Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with the review of the Codex of the Grey Knights. This is the last Codex launched by Games Workshop, and I want to do a review on it to see what's new and how is this compared to the previous edition Codex. So this review is going to be focused on the rules and on the different units and the rules for these units. I will not talk about the fluff or the impression or the pictures. So it's as all the other codex, it have very nice pictures, have a very nice showcase, and have a lot of fluff at the beginning. Also important, there are not new units in that codex. It's more like a reedition and upgrade, or how we'll say this, a version of the rules to adapt them to 7th edition, but they are not new units. All the units are the same that were appearing in the previous codex. And on top of that, Officius Asinorum and Inquisition is not in that codex. It's mainly focused on the Grey Knights. Of course, we can still take them as allies, as the 7th edition is allowing a lot of flexibility in terms of allies and secondary and allies detachments. So you can still deploy the same army, just to have to take into consideration that Inquisition is going to be a different detachment and Officius Asinorum is going to be a different detachment. So, and then I will start, I will not follow the same order that you will find in the book. I will follow a order that for me it's easier to do the comparison and to explain the codex, and I think it makes more sense from my point of view. Sorry if I don't follow the order, but I think it's making easier the review. So the first thing I have to say, a part of or at the end of the book, you will find this Nemesis Strike Force that have a different organization chart. As you can see here, is compulsory 1 HQ and 1 troop, and then you have optional another HQ, only 3 troops, 4 elites, 2 fast attacks, 2 heavy support, 1 Lord of War, and 1 fortification. I don't know if this is the only one, or you can still use in the traditional one, but I don't see a reason to use the traditional one, because on top of that, this new organization chart is giving 2 additional rules. So if the detachment is chosen as a primary detachment, you can reroll the result when rolling the Warlord traits, what is a good thing to do, because there are some Warlord traits that are very specific in Grey Knights. And then you also have the reach of teleportation. So instead of deploying on turn 2, you can decide to start deploying on turn 1, and you start throwing a 3+ to appear on turn 1. So you can leave all the army in reserve, and the army will start arriving in deep strike in turn 1 for all your units. So this is giving a lot of flexibility, a big surprise element to your enemy. So I think it's very good, how we'll call for organization chart. Is not considered really, and so in the book is not defined as a different organization. They just say that if I read the rules, it say Codex Grey Knights details a unique detachment, the Nemesis Tracks, that reflects a Grey Knight Vanguard assault formation dispatch to quell a demonic incursion, or as a final sanction upon a wall. This follows all the detachment rules presented in Warhammer 40k. So this follows, it is like a new organization for this detachment. So we have to take this into account. So you need less troops, you can put more elites, less fast attacks, and you have all these special rules that you can leave all your army in reserve, and they will start appearing in turn 1 on 3+. The Grey Knights also have their own special rules. They have combat squads like the Space Marines. Then they have the Aegis. This is a rule that allows you to repeat once when throwing for the Night Witch. And they have Purity of Spirit. That is the rule that enables them to use demonic Santic, and they only have what's called this periods from the warp on double 6s or more. So they will not any doubles or double 6s. So it's specified against in this codex. They also have their own Warlord traits, And if we look at the Warlord traits, the first one is giving hatred demons to the Warlord. And in addition, the Warlord can manifest banishment on 2+. Then have Hammer of Rignothers. The Warlord and his unit have Hammer of Wrath special rule. So the first one is very specific for demons. If you're not playing demons, you can recommend to throw away on the Warlord trait. Then you have Unyield Anvil, so the Warlord and all the friendly units with the Grey Knight faction within 12 inches of him have a Stormraven special rule. I don't think this is very awesome, especially having and knowing that all they have and they know no fear. Then they have the Fears of the Fray. If placed in Deep Strike Reserve, the Warlord and his unit automatically arrive in first turn and can reroll scatter dice when deep striking. So this is quite useful if you're planning a deep strike assault to your enemy. The 5 is the Warlord and his unit have counter-attack special rule. This is also quite good, especially if you are making a strong close combat unit with your Warlord. And the 6th one is the Warlord knows one more psychic power than normal from demonology. So if you have psychic, if you are mastery 2, so it will know 3 powers plus the Primarius power if you take everything from Santic. So some Warlord traits are quite good and others are not as good, and the first one is very situational, only useful if you play against Chaos or any army that have demons, and normally is Chaos and if the Elder is having the Avatar. And also they have their own new tactical missions that will substitute all the missions from 11 to 16. So if your primary detachment are Grey Knights, you have to use new missions that are described in this book. For the sake of saving time, I will not go into detail, but the names are Destroy the Demon, Psychic Communion, No Witnesses, Deeds of Legend, Teleport Attack, and Rites of Exorcisms. So these are 6 different missions if you are using tactical objective, and this 6 objective will substitute from 11 to 16 on the global or the basic deck. It is also interesting to mention that demonic Santic, demonology Santic powers are explained again in this codex. So there is no doubt that Grey Knights are focused to use this type of power from demonology Santic. Before talking about the units, I would like first to cover the weapons. So the first, I will say that there is not anymore the Seabolt ammunition that was very popular on the previous codex. So they will not have anymore the +1 to strength when shooting stone bolters, or autocannons, any type of bolter and autocannons. And then also the Nemesis have received some of the Nemesis weapons have changed quite a lot, especially the Stave War. Let's go by step. First, the basic weapon is the Nemesis Sword. It's giving Force, Demon Bane, and it's a melee weapon. So Force is that you can use is a standard rule, and then Demon Bane that all the Nemesis weapons have is that if you manifest Force on top of that, you repeat to wound. So you can reroll Filet to wound and Filet armor penetrations against model with Demon special rule while the blessing is in effect. Okay. Then we have the Halberd that is giving +1 strength and is 200. We have the Falchions that is giving +1 attack because it's 2 close combat weapons. We have the Stave Ward, and this one is the Stave Ward is costing +5 points and is melee, force, concussive, Demon Bane, and Ward. And what the Ward is giving is Adamantium Will. It's +2 strength and AP 4. We have then the Nemesis Demon Hammer that is strength by 2 and is AP 2, and the cost is +10 points. As shooting weapons, we still have the same weapons. We have the Sea Cannon, the Silencer, and the Incinerator. So the Incinerator is template strength 6, AP 4, assault, and have the Soul Blaze special rule. This is new. By 5 points is a strong flamer. Then we have the Sea Cannon that they changed them to Salvo 2, 4, but at the end is the same that was used to, is doing the same as before. 24 inches, strength 7, AP 4, and it's Salvo 2, 4 randy. And we have the Silencer that is heavy 6 force weapon. This can be interesting because it's force, so you can use it to instant kill enemies if is it needed. We also have the heavy version of them. We have the heavy Sea Cannon and the heavy that have two type of shots. Now can be shot at Salvo 3, 6, or can be shot as heavy 1 large blast and it's rending. And we have the heavy silencer that can be is heavy 12 force. And we also have the heavy incinerator that is still template heavy 1 soul blaze and is 2 red. So now the heavy incinerator is quite interesting for to be used with the Dread Knight. The rest of the equipment is not very different from the Space Marines. They have Melta Bombs, the Teleperformer, the Mastercraft, and the digital weapons. Of course, they have their own relics as all the other codexes. And here we have the first one, Bone Shard of Solar, is a relic special to give a special save when you are fighting demons, plus 3 invulnerable save if you have a demon within 12 inches, plus 2 invulnerable save, 2+ invulnerable save if the demon is from Khorne. Then we have a special Terminator armor that on top of the Terminator abilities is giving it will not die and feel no pain. We have the Domina Liber Dameonica that is giving 1 additional power to the Psychic, 1 additional power from the Monology Santic to the Bearer, and all Grey Knights that try to manifest a power within 6 inches, they will repeat once. They have also the strong Storm Bolter, it's range 36, strength 4, AP 5 as a Storm Bolter, and is a Soul 3, Mastercraft, and Precision Shot. Then we have a banner that is giving Fearless at 12 inches from the banner. Is giving all demons within 12 inches will have to pass a dangerous terrain, and is also giving +1 attack to the unit that is bearing the banner. And then we have the Soul Glaive, that is a Nemesis weapon that have melee, force, demon bane, soul imprint, and two-handed. Is strength 1, so it's a fancy halberd that on top of the halberd it also has the soul imprint. That means that the character wielding the Soul Glaive rerolls failed psychic tests when attempting to manifest force psychic power. Furthermore, if the force psychic power is successfully manifested and targets the character wielding this weapon or his unit, then additional to the usual effects, the Soul Glaive rerolls all failed to hit, to wound, and armor penetration rolls whilst the blessing is in effect. So it's a super strong force weapon. I will say that here in the equipment is where I see more the differences. The Stave War have changed radically the function. Now, instead of giving 2+ invulnerable save, is giving adamantium will. We have the relics that can give some fascinating tweaks if you don't have any of the named characters. For example, you can I see that the Terminator armor for I think is 4+. The Terminator armor, it will cost you 15 points to give it will not die and feel no pain. I don't think the Soul Glaive is paying back, because I think 20 points for a super force weapon, I don't see the use. I think the most useful, and then Bone of Shard, if you know that you are going to fight demons, is definitely the way to go. It's very useful. And the Fury of Deimos, 10 points for a fancy Stone Boulder, I don't see neither. So for me the most interesting are maybe the Cuirass of Sacrifice and the Bone Shard if you are fighting demons. The Domina Liber Demonica is 25 points for additional power and then yeah, repeating once but you have this demands that all the unit and you have to be together to benefit from the book. So I don't see a big change on the relics. What I see more change is on the Nemesis weapons, and also that the silencer now is a force weapon, so you can use it to instant kill enemies. And let's start talking about the units. So the first unit is HQ, Captain and Grandmaster is the same unit. Is costing 150 points, and the profile is weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength and toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 10, and save 2+. And if you go for the Grandmaster, is just +1 attack, so it's going to be attacks 4 instead of 3. So then have all the equipment: Terminator armor, Stone Boulder, Nemesis, Force Sword, Frag, Crack Grenades, Sickle Grenades, Iron Halo. Then have the special rule, the Aegis, and they shall know no fear, independent character, preferred enemy, and then it's Psyker level 1, and if you take as a Grandmaster, it will be Psyker level 2, and then as a Psykers, they will know they can take from Demonology, Divination, Pyromancy, Telekinesis, and Telepathy. And the only grade you can have is that the upgrade to Grandmaster, that is 35 points, so Captain 150, Grandmaster 185, but is full equip. You also can take any equipment from Melee and Terminator special weapons, so they can go equip. If they can go equip with a sick cannon or a silencer if it's needed, so they can. And they also can take from a special gear. You can put Melta Bomb if you want. You can take a Mastercraft weapon, and they can take also relics of Titan. So it's quite a solid choice. Seeking level 1 or 2. I will say that depending how you want to play, Captain should be enough, or just for 35 points go to Grandmaster. It's very easy to spend a lot of points and to go next close to 200 if you start using a lot of equipment on him. Brother Captain Stern is the first named character, is costing 185 points, and for the cost of this, you have the same profile as a Captain, have the same equipment as a Captain, but he have a couple of special rules. So he have the Strands of Fate. Brother Captain Stern can use this special rule to reroll one roll to hit, to wound, or saving throw each phase. However, for each dice rerolled using this special rule, your opponent can reroll one roll to hit, to wound, and saving. So you can reroll, but you will give a reroll to your opponent. I don't see a lot in the advantage of that. It's very situational, and you have to be very careful how you use it. It's a level 2, and then also they have a zone of banishment. If Brother Captain Stern successfully manifests the banishment psychic power from Demonology discipline, it targets all enemy units with the demon special rule that are within 12 inches of the Brother Captain Stern instead of a single unit 24. So instead of targeting just a single unit, you will target all units that are within 12 inches. So this is very powerful if you are surrounded of demons. As it is common in all the special characters, it have a fixed warlord trait, have Unyield Anvil, that is the one that is giving a stubborn to all units around him. I think it's 12 inches distance. So, and all the powers of him have to be Power Captain Stern knows the Banishment, Hammerhead, and Sanctuary powers from Demonology. So you cannot choose if these are the powers that it comes. So what is the advantage? You know the powers you have. There is not a space for random. If you want to know exactly what powers you are going to have and what are the abilities, if you take Captain Stern, there is no randomness. If you want to play a little bit random, then you have to take a normal Captain. I think it's quite a good choice, but it's 185, so it's not extremely amazing. Next one in the HQs is the Brotherhood Champion. I think this is the one that changed more. It's costing 150 points instead of 100 that was costing before. It have weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 4, 2 wounds that used to be 1, initiative 5, 2 attacks, leadership 10, and 2 plus saves. So instead of wearing a Terminator armor, it's wearing Artificer armor. It's also equipped with a Stone Bolter, Mastercraft, Nemesis, Power Sword, Frag Grenades, Crack Grenades, Seacock Grenades, Iron Halo. So have the 4 plus invulnerable save. So then have in practice is the same as a captain, because you have the 2 plus armor save and the 4 plus invulnerable save, because Terminator with the Iron Halo is better than Terminator in that case. Then have the Aegis and the Shall Know No Fear, independent character, preferred enemy demons. This is common, is Seeker level 1, and have Purity of Spirit, that is for demonology, and then have a couple of abilities. He has the Heroic Sacrifice. If this model is slain in close combat, he can immediately make one close combat attack against a model he is in base contact with before being removed as a casualty. Roll to hit and wound as normal, and then have the ability of Special Warrior. So a model with this ability can choose to use Sword, Strike, or Blade Shade. So each turn you can decide if you want to go for Sword Strike, that give the Smash special rule to him, or you go for Blade Shield, that it's allowing you to repeat to rerolls all failed saving throws. So it's quite interesting ability, and depends a lot on the enemy you are fighting and the situation. You may choose one or the other. So I guess if you are fighting a Terminator, maybe you want to go for Smash to have AP2. If not, you will use the Blade Shield to, depending a lot on the situation and what you want to do. If you want to survive or you want to do damage. I think it's quite a good choice, but it's 150 points. And also is a Psyker, as all the units in all the infantry units in this codex are Psykers. And he has Banishment and Hammerhand. This is the minimum all the Grey Knights have. It's important to notice that this is the equipment that the champion is wearing. You cannot change the equipment. This is the equipment that is given to you, and it has to fight with that. So 150 points. It's close, no more, and then I think it's quite a solid, but only 2 wounds. You have to take into account that it has only 2 wounds, so it's good for close combat. I think have to be included with another unit and give a lot of punch to this unit. In that way, you will not receive a lot of attacks back from the enemy. We also have Castellan Crow in this codex, 175 points, so almost the same cost as the Captain Stern. He have weapon skill 8, so it's quite important, and have 2 wounds. So and then have ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, as I say, initiative 6, that is quite fast, 3 attacks, and leadership 10. He also have Artificer armor and the Iron Halo, so 2 plus armor save, 4 plus invulnerable save, and have all the common rules from the Grey Knights. I will not go again into that. He's master level 2 instead of 1, and he knows Banishment, Hammerhand, and Clashing Flames as the Purifiers. He also has the rules of the champion, but instead of only you be able to use one of the rules, he can use both rules at the same time. So this means that he has a Smash special rule, and at the same time he can reroll all failed savings. So he will have 2 plus rerollable and 4 plus rerollable in close combat. So it's quite a strong choice. 175, it's going to resist quite a lot. And then have also all the standard equipment, and on top of that he has Clashing Flames that can give a little bit of punch in the second phase. So up to now all the HQs are quite expensive, but they are quite strong, especially in close combat. The most peculiar thing on the Castellan code is the weapon. He has a weapon that has not any special rule. So luckily he has Smash, so he has AP2, but his the weapon have the strength of the user and is a melee weapon. It's not. He cannot manifest force. He has not force or demon bane or any other rule. In the Grey Knights, we also have the Librarians. They cost 110 points. Of course, they are equipped with the Terminator armor. They have weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 10, and the armor save. They are equipped as all the other Grey Knights Terminator, and but instead of having the Nemesis sword, they have the Nemesis warding staff, so they have adamantium wheel as well, and they have the psychic hood as the standard librarians. He can generate powers from his psychic power 2 and can be increased to level 3 by 25 points, and is taking powers from demonology, divination, pyromancy, telekinesis, and telepathy. So it's quite a good type of powers that you can take there. He also can take Stone Bolter, because have not a Stone Bolter as a basic weapon, or can take a Combi Flamer, Combi Melter, Combi Plasma. Then he can replace the Staff Guard with a Nemesis Sword, a Nemesis Halberd, or a Nemesis Falchion for free, or can take a Nemesis Demon Hammer for 5 points. I think for him you can keep maybe the Staff Guard. Might take items from special issue War Gear and Relics of Titan. So he cannot have have the standard weapons for shooting, Stone Bolter, Combi Flammer, but cannot have sick cannons or silencers as the Grandmaster. Big choices on as a psyker, so he's a psyker and needs to be used as a supporting guy with quite good abilities in close combat. Take into account that they have not Iron Hallows, so the save is invulnerable save is 5+ instead of 4+. If you are thinking in having a Librarian of level 3, you will go to 135 points, and I will not use any additional equipment. I think the Librarian should go as it is. Maybe you can add, if you want, the Stone Bolter for 5 points. I don't think makes sense to put a combi weapon to him, because I will use him more as a supporting unit, and I will try to keep him out of the most dangerous close combats and shooting parts or shooting zones on the battlefield. The Grey Knights also have Tank Marines. He's costing 90 points. Is wearing Artificer armor as all the Tank Marines, ball gun, power axe, frag grenades, crack grenades, sickle grenades, servo harness, and also have the Aegis and all the other rules. He's the only one that is not Psyker. He's Seeker as well, and have Banishment and Hammerhand. Sorry, I did a mistake there. Can take also options from melee weapons, special issue War Gear, and relics. So he can have, if you want, a power sword, or can have Nemesis weapons if you want to take to see the aches. Can also replace the ball gun by Stone Bolter by 3 points, and can replace the Sermo harness by a conversion beamer. So it's a mixture between Grey Knight and the Tank Marine. I forgot to mention the profile, but it's a basic profile of a Marine. So 4441418. So it's a basic profile of any Space Marine, and have the abilities of all Tank Marines. So have the Blessing of Omnishear and Brewster defenses, and also the adepts from the armory. So for each HQ in your detachment, not including other Tank Marines, you can include a Tank Marine. So they are not using spaces on the HQ, so you can take him So you can take, for example, a captain, a librarian, and then take one tank marine if you want a supporting HQ. So we have finalized now with the HQs, and we can go to the troops. On troops, we have the Strike Squad, 110 points for 5 guys, where you have 4 Grey Knights and 1 Justicar. They are equipped with Power Armor, Stone Bolter, Nemesis, Power Sword, Frag, Crack, and Seek Out Grenades. They also have the same rules as usual. They are Psychers, they have Aegis, they have Channel of Field, so I will not go into detail. They have combat squads, and they have Deep Strike, although they are not the Terminators. All the units except the Rhinos, but most of the units in these codex have Psyker and Deep Strike. They are Psychic Brotherhood, and they have Banishment and Hammer Hand, powers from Demonology, and they also can have also some options. They can include up to 5 additional Grey Knights for 20 points each one. Every 5 Grey Knights they can take 1 special weapon. So if you do a unit of 10, they can take 2 special weapons. Any Grey Knight can take items from melee weapons, so you can have any combination of Nemesis weapons on your unit. And here, I think the best choices for these guys are going to be the halberds. You can put maybe 1 or 2 Nemesis hammer, in case you foresee that you are going to fight vehicles or dreadnoughts. But for me, the best option is the halberds. And then the unit can select Rhinos or Razorback as a dedicated transport. The Justicar, of course, can take melee, can take a special issue from the war gear, so they can the Justicar can take Melta Bombs and Mastercraft if it's needed. So we have to take into account that now Hammerhand is +2 strength and the Halberd is +1 strength. So these guys, if they have Hammerhand plus Halberd, they will have a strength 7 attacks in close combat. This is quite powerful. So this is why I say you only need the hammer, the Nemesis hammer, if you are fighting vehicles with high armor, like armor 14, because even the halberd can damage armor 13 if you add the hammer hand plus the +1 strength of the halberd. So I think halberd is going to be the most popular weapon for all the Grey Knights in this new edition. We also have the Terminator Squad as a troop unit. It's costing 165 points and have almost the same equipment as the other unit. The only difference is that they have 2 attacks and they have leadership 9. They are, of course, equipped with Terminator, and they have then the 2 plus armor save plus the 5 plus invulnerable save. They are also Psyker's Mastery 1, so they can have Banishment and they will have Banishment and Hammerhand as powers. Also here I see that going with the Halberd is a good choice. For +2 points, you will have +1 to strength with the Hammerhand. Again, as I said before, is strength 7. You can include up to 5 additional Terminators, 33 points for each Terminator. They can have 1 Terminator special weapon for every 5 models. And any Grey Knight Terminator might take items from melee weapons, so you can have any combination of Nemesis weapons on your squad. And then as well, the Justicar can take melee and special war gear. They can take Land Rider Crusader, or Land Rider Redeemer as a dedicated transport. So no more to say here. It's a close combat weapon with a good shooting with the stone bolters, and then you can have a special weapon that, depending on the function, but normally I see the Silencer and the Sea Cannon as the best choices for as a shooting weapon, as a special weapon. This is concluding the troops, and now we will go to the elites. So as elites, we have the Purifiers, 125 points, so it's only 15 points more than the Strike Squad. They have 2 attacks, leadership 9, so they have 1 attack more than the Strike Squad and 1 point more in leadership. So for this point you have 4 Purifiers and 1 Night Flame, and the squad is composed of 5, and as usual you can add additional up to 10, so 5 additional Purifiers for 25 points per model. So this means 125 more additional, 250 if you want to put 10 guys. The advantage here, the Purifiers can have 2 special weapons for each 5 for every 5 Marines in the unit. So it's double number of special weapons than the Strike Squad, and they are Psykers level 2 instead of 1, so they generate 2 warp charges, and they have Banishment, Hammer Hand, and Clinching Flames. So they are much stronger also in the secret phase. And as usual, they can take melee weapons. They can have any combination of melee weapons, and the Justicar can also have special equipment, and they can take a Rhino and a Razorback as a dedicated transport. So once you have filled the troops, I think Purifiers are a very strong choice. They are not much expensive than the Strike Squad. It's just, if I'm not wrong, yeah, it's just 15 points more for the basic squad. They have 1 more attack in close combat, and they have more options for shooting, and they have on top of that the Clinching Flames. So Clinching Flames is a power with 2 warp charges that have range 9, is a Nova, range 9, strength 5, AP 4, assault 2d6, ignores cover, and soul blaze. So this unit is all the Grade 9 units are made to war surrounded of enemies. So they know that they are going to have lower numbers, so they are made to fight very close to the enemy. So normally at distance that are between, I think below 12 inches is the most efficient way to fight, but from 24 to 0 inches, because you want to do a lot of damage in shooting and finalize the war in close combat. And as you can see, they have good weapons if they are surrounded to keep doing damage to the enemies. So I think Purifiers is still a very solid choice. It have a lot of versatility and have a lot of possibilities, and the option to have 2 shooting, 2 special weapons every 5 are making them quite dangerous also in shooting, in close combat, and also in very short range using the Clinching Flames. So in elites, of course, we have the Paladins. Paladins are the elite of the elite in that codex. They cost 3 by 165 points. You can have additional Paladins for 55 points. You can upgrade one of them to Apothecary for 20 points, giving Feel No Pain. You can add the Brotherhood banner by substituting the melee weapon of one of the Paladins. It will give Fearless and +1 attack to each miniature of the unit, so it can be quite a strong one. And you also can take the Nemesis banner, that is the relic that only can you take 1 per unit. I think for me, what I see here, the best choice. Then you can have 1 special weapon for each 5. So you can have 2 special weapons, for each 5 Marines in the unit, and any model can take items from melee and special war gear. And of course, they can go on a Land Rider, Crusader, or Redeemer. We have to be careful here. You can spend a lot of points. I think the best size of unit is 5, where you go to 270 points, 75 points. Plus, if you add the shooting equipment, you go almost to 300, plus any additional things that you want to do. If you want to put one away to Apothecary, you will easily go over 300 points. So it's going to be a very good unit, but also very expensive. And they have 2 wounds, so they are very resistant. and they are in a Terminator armor, but they still have toughness 4. So I recommend also to give them some support, some type of boost that will try to minimize the damage by shooting, because if they start shooting you with weapons of strength 8, AP2, AP1, or strength, even strength 7, AP2, they will cause quite some damage because they will have only invulnerable on 5+. Of course, if they arrive in close combat, they are going to do a lot of damage. So very strong unit, but as well a lot of points accumulated here. In the elites, we also have the Dreadnought. It's costing 125 points, and you can make it venerable for 25 points, so 150 if you want a venerable Dreadnought. Same profile of all the Dreadnoughts, I will not go into details, and can have all the different choices from the equipment. So also you can still do in the twin-link autocannon. You can also have the last cannon with plus the missile launcher. I personally prefer the ones that are mixed close combat and shooting, but here is your personal choice. I think the Rifleman Dreadnoughts that were very popular in the Grey Knights are losing a little bit of strength because you don't have the Seabolt ammunition, so now they still be strength 7 and not 8 as they used to be. So you have to be careful if you start accumulating a lot of weapons of strength 7, maybe you will have problems to damage heavy vehicles. But I don't think it's a bad choice, but today vehicles and especially dreadnoughts are not very popular in 7th edition because are not as resistant as they used to be. Also, making venerable is not giving a big advantage because a lot of times you die because you lose all the hull points. So repeating on the damage when you have a penetrating hit is not making a big difference in that cases. It's also cycle level 1 and will have management and sanctuary. If you keep him as a shooting, it will give an advantage nether because this sanctuary will give you 6+ invulnerable save. I don't think it's going to be a game changer. So it's not my preferred choice in elites. Maybe I will prefer the Purifiers. And now we start going to fast attack. Yeah, Rhino now is a fast attack as well as in the case of the Space Wolf, and he's also a dedicated transport if you take him as a dedicated transport for a unit. Nothing special on the Rhino. 35 points, and it's the same Rhino as the Space Marines. I will not lose more time on here. So Rhino is also a choice. And they also have the Razorback with exactly the same rules as the Razorback for the Space Marines with exactly the same choices. So we can go fast on that one. It's not anything additional there. Keep it on the fast stack. We go to the Interceptor unit or Interceptor Squad. They are like strike marines. They cost the first 5 are costing 130 points, so you're paying is 15 additional points. They cost 24 points per model, and you also can have one special weapon for every 5. The only difference is that they are jam infantry. And this is the only difference with the strike squad. So if you want a little bit more mobility, you can go with this squad. It's like a strike squad with a little bit more of mobility, and it's costing slightly more. So 4 points more per Space Marine. In fast attack, we also have the Stormraven. This one is costing 200 points and have exactly the same rules as before. It's twin-link assault cannon and have exactly the same options for free. The only thing I think is new is that they have Skies of Fury. So if the Stormraven gunship have moved more than 6 inches, passengers can still disembark, but they must do as follows. So nominate any point over which the Grey Knights Stormraven move that turn and deploy the squad as if had been in deep strike. If the unit scatters, every disembarking model must immediately take a dangerous terrain test. If any of the models cannot be deployed, the entire unit is destroyed. Models that disembark using Skies of Fury special rule cannot charge the turn that they do so. So you lose the ability of assault vehicle. So you can deploy if you move more, but then you have risk of having damage. So I don't see why you will do that in a army that everybody have deep strike. Have transport capacity as well. It's 12 models. Doesn't have fire points and have the same access points and the same options as before. No, it's not a psyker. So the vehicles are the only ones that are not psychers. The Rhino, the Razorback, the Stormraven, and the Land Riders. So I don't think there is much more to check here. Just it's as a normal Stormraven that is instead of being in heavy support is in fast attack in the case of Grey Knights. And then we keep reviewing. We arrive to heavy support. We have the Purgation Squad. You can have exactly the same rules as the Strike Squad. On top of that, you have Night Vision. So they are not penalized if they have night combat, but in 7th edition night combat is not that popular. And they can have 4 special weapons in the unit. So that's all. It's a shooting. It's a unit specialized in shooting. So but you have to keep in mind that it's 24 inches. So deep strike close to the enemy and start shooting all your bullets on them. On the heavy support, we also find the Dread Knight. It's ballistic skill, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4. Then have strength and toughness 6, 4 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 10, and 2+ invulnerable save. It's a monstrous creature. It has 2 power fists and have the Aegis and they shall know no fear, deep strike, preferred enemy, Psyche level 1, and purity of spirit, and force shielding. So have also 5+ invulnerable save. He's also psychic and knows banishment and sanctuary. So if you use sanctuary, you will go to 4+ invulnerable save. He can take a personal teleporter that is making him jump monstrous creature, increasing the mobility, but it's costing 30 points. We also can do a special movement 1 per turn. The thing is, it's a lot of inches. I think it's up to 30 inches in 1 turn, and that you can move. He can take up to 2 from the following list, and can take heavy incinerator, Gatling silencer, or heavy sea cannon. And he may replace one of the power fists with one of the following: a Nemesis Demon Hammer or a Nemesis Great Sword. So the Nemesis Demon Hammer is giving conclusive of top, and the Nemesis Great Sword is repeating 2 hit and 2 wound. If I'm not wrong, let me check. No, I check it, and what it's giving is a Mastercraft sword, so you can repeat one dice to if you one miss to hit. So it's not a bad. It's costing 130 points. If you equip him with a heavy sea cannon, is 165 points, and if you add so it's 175 points with, as you see, as equipped as the one you can see in the picture. So it's not bad for a monstrous creature with 4 wounds and 2+ save, and then invulnerable 5+ that can be increased to 4+ if you have Sanctuary. They also have all the Land Rider options, and here I will just mention. No need to go into detail them. It's not adding. So it's a big vehicle of 200 and something points, and it's varying a little bit depending on the equipment, but you are going to be talking between 240 and 200 and almost 300 points depending on the equipment you add to it. It's armor 14 and the 4 hull points, so nothing special to mention. It's a very strong choice, and if you want to transport safety your Terminators or your Paladins unit to the enemy, I think this is a good option. If not, you do deep strike next to your enemy. With the special rule that you can deep strike from turn 1, maybe you don't need the... It's a choice. Or you deep strike a lot of units, or you use less units and you accumulate points. But you have to think, Paladins, 300 something points. If you add a Captain, almost 200 more points. Plus the Land Rider, you go easily to 800 points in just one vehicle. So a lot of points. You have to be careful. Everything is very expensive in that codex, so you will be outnumbered by your enemy. The last option is the Lord is Lord of War, and we have Lord Caldor Dvaigo. He's costing 245 points, and have the profile weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and 2+. He's in a Terminator armor, have a Stone Bolter, Frag, Crack Grenades, Sickle Grenades, Iron Halo, a Storm Shield, so he has 3+ invulnerable save, 4+ invulnerable save, 5+ invulnerable save, and 2+ armor save. He has the Aegis, he's Eternal Warrior, he's fearless, is independent character, have preferred enemy demons. His Master Psyker, his Psyker Master level 2, have the Purity Spill, so it's have also the Demonology. And he have the weapon Demon Slayer, that is +3 to the strength, AP2, melee, force, Demon Bane, and Mastercrafted. So it's very good killing demons, and is a very, very, very strong in close combat, but it's 245 points, so you have to take this into account. And to finalize on this codex, we have also formation that is composed with the list that you see here. A part of the special rules that the Grey Knights have, they also have Secret Brotherhood. That means that they can cast spells on 3+ instead of 4+. So yeah, you can use this combination, but then you are fixed to this. You also can take this formation as your primary detachment, and then you can also repeat on the Warlord traits. And they also are teleported in. They can start deep striking on turn 1. So this is a formation that you can use if you want to have. If you are going to focus on your spells. So to conclude this review, the main changes are on the weapons. I don't see big changes on the units. Only the champions have been changed quite a lot, and now Dvaigo is moved from HQ to Lord of War, but this was something expected. I think the main changes are on the Nemesis weapons that have to be used in a different way. But I see the Codex as they used to be. It's quite strong at short range shooting. It's very strong in close combat. The halberd now can be busted to strength 7, so it's very dangerous in close combat. So, but you are going to be low in numbers, so you have to be careful because on the choices of equipment you do and what equipment you are going to select for each unit, because if not, you are going to be outnumbered very easily. But I think it's quite a solid codex. You can build up very fluff armies if you want, and that is giving a lot of flexibility. And the rule that you can deep strike all the army are making them quite imprevisible for your enemy. So overall I like, if you were expecting new units, you can be deceptioned because there are not new units in that codex. I think the only purpose of this codex is to update the Grey Knight rules to the 7th edition and try to cover some of the gaps of some of the problems that the Grey Knights had before in the current edition. So that's all for this video. I hope you have find it useful. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.